welcome to another episode of Kids and Mum. My name is Yele and I am going to be your host for today. We have a lot of things for you to learn from today. We have so many games, we have talks, we have tips, we have information to share with you. So what I want you to do right now is to sit back, relax, do not touch that dial, because we'll be back with more on Kids and Mum. Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Welcome back. On the show today, we have a teens coach, person that is very passionate about the teenagers. His name is Okpeyemi Ogunyomi. Everyone calls him Uncle Okpe. And he's a teen coach who has been working with young people for over 7 years. He is a product of the University of Ilorin and the University of Lagos. He obtained his BSc and his MSc from these universities respectively. You're very welcome to the show, Uncle Okpe. How are you doing today?
Very well. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, wow. I'm excited to have you here.
Same here.
All right, so let's get right into it.
Straight into it.
All right, so let's talk about bridging the gap between parents and teenagers, because in every generation, there seems to be a generational gap between these two, and there's always some form of conflict going on. So let's talk about the needs of the 21st century teenager.
All right. So the needs, thank God you asked for needs, because we need to strike a balance between the needs and wants.
Okay.
So what most parents actually focus on is what my child actually wants, not really needs. Because every teenager, 21st century teenager, needs to be loved. Yes. Not you assuming that you're showing them love. You need to speak in their language. You need to understand the love language of your teenager, else he or she is going to look for it elsewhere. And that would be very dangerous. That's the first thing. The second thing is the 21st century teenager needs wisdom, not information.
Okay.
We are in a season where information is everywhere. Information multiplies just like this. So as a parent, you must be equipped to provide wisdom. Your teenagers cannot get wisdom on Google. They can't get it from Siri or Alexa or what have you. But if you're still giving them information, they get bored and all that. I've read it before and all that. So another thing that they need is they need to develop a unique sense of identity. The teenage season is a period where we call it the identity formation stage. All right. So you as a parent, you must be on ground to help them go through that phase. Now, if we talk about the needs of the average 21st century teenager, you will not be here.
That's true. Absolutely true. I mean, one of the things that you talked about is the fact that they need wisdom and not just information. So what would you tell parents? What would you say are the do's and the don'ts, for them in raising this urban and this modern teenager?
Well, the first thing I would like to start with is I think every parent should change their aim. Once your child is approaching the teenage season, you can't afford to, still look at your child with the lens of, I parent you when you're a kid. It's a new season entirely. A lot of physiological changes, physical changes, emotional changes. And the funniest thing is, parents, I think they forget that they were once a teenager, forgetting the fact that you also went through that, although in a different season. But you notice that you had some sort of struggles or conflict with your own parents too, because your body's going through some changes and they seem not to understand what is happening to you. So you need to change your aim from probably trying to solve all the problems for your child to, training your child in such a way that he can also provide answers for himself. Most parents, because of the fact that you want to show love to your child, you just want to do everything for your child. You don't do that when he or she is a teenager.
Okay.
You change it from the teaching model to training model. When he was much younger, you you did all the teaching, all the tutelage and all that. This is the period where you now train. All right, so there's a form of some sort of independence there. Allow your child make mistakes. All right, in a home where you don't embrace imperfections, that home is like a tug of war, is like a war field, a war zone. Allow imperfections, because even you yourself as a parent, you're not perfect. And guess what? There will be struggles. No matter how good you are as a parent, you must embrace these things. It's because we live in denial. That's why we feel, the world is coming down and all of that. So embrace struggles, because struggle is a precursor for change. It depends on your perspective about it. So you change your aim as a parent. Instead of solving all the problems, allow your child develop basic skills that he can also face his own challenges and solve it himself. The next thing I would like to talk about is you change your parenting styles. Like I said, you can't afford the tools you used when he was much younger will not be necessary now. So you change your style from just hearing or talking to engaging in conversation, discussions. And mom, let me thank God this show is Kids&Mum. Please learn to keep quiet.
Oh, what does that mean?
I have to say that respectively, because
pause on Kwok, but when you say keep quiet, you need to define the term, because I know it's not the regular keep quiet. So there is a keep quiet
with explanation.
So can you define that term and then explain for us?
Yeah. All right. So this is what I mean by keep quiet. This is the stage where your child wants you to listen to him.
Okay.
All right. So when you're listening, you don't talk. But most mothers don't get that. You just want to pour out your mind. You want your child to get it right. However, your child is yelling, Mom, can you just listen to what I have to say? So when you're engaging your children, your teenagers in particular, in conversation, learn to just listen. All right. Now, some parents do that. They either ignore what their child has to say or they overreact. So we have some parents in the category of overreacting. So you just heard your child say something that you've probably not heard before, is against your value, and you just yell and all that. You just shut down that child forever. He's not going to share certain things with you anymore. And we have some parents that they just ignore what do you have to say. I'm your mom, I'm your dad, blah blah blah. So learn to listen, all right? Because it is even better to know what your child is thinking about than for you not to know what is going on in his or her head. No matter how difficult that is, it's better for you to know what he or she is thinking about than for you not to know what is going on in his mind. So you want to listen. And when you are engaging them in conversation, don't interrupt. Don't talk when you are not being asked to talk. Your child actually has a whole lot to say, and this can only be built upon when you have solid relationship with them. And how do you have solid relationship with someone? Spend quality time. An average teenager needs quality time from his or her parent. Dad, don't just try to fix things. All right? Engage, take a walk, sometimes do lunch. I know you're a busy person, you have work to do, but your child is still your child.
Yeah.
And that is why you are the parent and he or she is your child. So you are the archer, he is your arrow, and the distance that an arrow will cover is determined by the skillfulness of the archer. So I tell people that parenting is not just about littering the earth with children, but the outcome of the child.
Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram.
My name is Asma Akishola. I'm 10 years old. I like singing and dancing. Show me the size of your cut, Agiriba, Agiriba. Show me the size of your cut, Agiriba, Agiriba. I'll tell children to respect their parents and do not disobey their parents.
Now, let me ask you this question. With the rise of technology and the rise of these teenagers being digital natives, as we call them now, what has been the effect of parental relationships with teenagers, and then how can parents foster a more productive and fulfilling relationship with their children, knowing fully well that they have to compete with the media.
That competition has always been there because there's a gap between the parents and teenagers. Now that we now have a new bride, in quotes, a lot of parents are yet to understand that they need to up their game. All right, so the introduction of the digitalization is not going to go. It is here to stay. So you as a parent, you need to develop systems. So a family should have a system.
Okay.
All right. There should be screen time, and there should be time where we have real-time conversations where we get to talk. Nobody's on phone and all of that. So you must put those, because people do better based on the system put in place. Most families don't even have a system. So the first question I want to ask is, as a family, what system are you running? And how do you create a system? You look at the outcome you want to create. What kind of children do I want to, have in the next 10, 15, 20 years? What are your goals as a family? So that will now determine the kind of system. You want to create a family whereby everybody is just in their world. And guess what? Because of the introduction of, digital and all of that, we have more teenagers turning towards suicide. Because when you isolate yourself, it's easy for you to be depressed. And the teen culture is not helping. The teen culture doesn't have love. All right. When we were much younger and we don't have much of this social media stuff around, we still do outdoor games and all that. But right now, you can even be in your house and play a PS5 or a FIFA 22 with somebody who is not even in the country, as long as they have strong internet. So it promotes isolation, all right? And once you're isolated, you're tending towards depression, and you have issues of cyberbullying and all that. So you as a parent must create a system whereby your children can even give you reports of things going on in their lives, all right? And if they see you as a judgmental person, you're going to build a wall. All right? So they'll just tell you things that they want you to hear. And I'll quickly say this. When you're building, for some parent that wants to build rules and consequences and laws, don't build it based on action. Don't let it be action based. This is what I want you to do.
Okay.
Let it be such that something that will build their character.
Okay.
All right. Something that will build, their critical thinking skills, such that your child is not a pretender. He's not A in school and B at home. He's not B at home and A in school. Your child is your child because of the system that you have put in place.
That's so beautiful. That's just so amazing. So if you're going to talk to the teenagers right now, talking to them about the changes in the society and their parents, what are you going to tell teenagers about having a very solid and productive relationship with their parents?
So the first thing that I would like to tell every teenager is your parents are not your enemies, all right? They may, go overboard, do certain things that you're not comfortable with. Let me say this jokingly: as long as you are in Nigeria, you have a whole lot of things disturbing you. Know that your parents they also have their own struggles. So I need you to understand that they have their own struggles while you have yours. Be understanding, all right? Put yourself in their shoes sometimes, and probably walk up to mommy and give mommy a word of encouragement. Walk up to daddy, tell him everything will be fine. If they don't start your conversation, why not spark it up?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. Straight to the point. Okay, so what would be your last advice to parents today?
All right, so for parents, parenting is a skill that you must acquire. It's different from you giving birth to the child, but you must now learn how to parent that child. And guess what? Children are not the same. They have their uniqueness. So you do this by observing their strengths, their weaknesses, and all of that. Then position yourself to learn from them too, because everybody's a spirit, and they have their path, to trend. So you must learn from them, learn from their lifestyles, their strengths, their weaknesses. Then you position them in such a way that they can maximize their gift, because we were born naked, but we're not born empty. So we have certain things in us that we need to bring to the surface to execute the things that we are on earth to execute.
Fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Uncle Okwe, for coming to the show. So, from everyone else here at Kids&Mum, we have a gift for you. Oh. So, Uncle Kwe, we are gifting you this throw pillow.
Thank you.
Yes, so from everyone at Kids&Mum, we want to say thank you so much.
Wow.
We appreciate you coming and we hope to see you back again another time. All right, so that is that for the talk with Uncle Kwe, but don't go anywhere because we still have a lot more in store for you right here on Kids&Mum. Don't change that channel, we'll be right back. Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram.
Hello and welcome to Kids&Mum. My name is Omomi, also known as Talk. On today's episode of Kids&Mum, I want to share with you 5 tips that would help your child to study effectively. Yes, you heard me right. 5 tips to help your child study effectively. So let's go straight into it. Number 1, create a designated study area. So you know that corner in the room, be it by the left or the right, where they can have their table, their stool, and the reading lamp. Yes, you need to create a place for them because then they know it's their space. That is where they need to study. Number 2, have a schedule. Yes, you heard me right. So of the subject they study in school, have a timetable for it. So on Monday, we are doing math, English. On Wednesday, we are doing physics, chemistry, biology, something along those lines. Have a schedule because what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Number 3, take notes. Encourage them to take notes from everything that they have learned in class. So they come home with their books in their study area at that time that they have designated, 6 p.m. for example, they are taking notes after reading. It is a very, very good skill to practice because it would help you to understand what you have learned in class. Number 4, practice recalling. I'll explain what that means. You know how it is that you've taken this note now after you have studied your material. Encourage them to close the book now and try and recall what they have read. Retentive memory plays majorly in this area. What that does for them is to know if they understand what they have read, if they can recall it. And if they cannot, they just go back again to read and to take more notes again and try again. And then number 5, which is my favorite one, is to practice test questions. Yes, you heard me right. Hopefully, they have resource available for them that they can use to do that. If not, just Google it or buy some textbooks that would allow them to practice exactly what they have learned in their sciences or in their maths and English. So those are my 5 tips that would help you as a parent to help your child to develop effective study habits. So number 1 again is create a designated study area. Number 2 is have a schedule. Remember I said what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Number 3 is to take notes. Number 4, practice recalling. And number 5 is to practice test questions. That's all I have time for on today's episode. Check out more amazing episodes on our YouTube channel, Eltee TV. And as always, I want to know your feedback. Which of these tips stood out for you? Which one have you been practicing? And what will you be doing more of? Thank you.
Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Wow, what a show, what an episode. Thank you so much for staying with us from start to finish. We know you had a great time because everything that has been said today must have resonated with you and you must have taken a lot of things that you would use in your day-to-day lives. So from us and every one of us here at Kids&Mum, we want to say thank you to every single one of you for staying, for learning, and for having fun with us. Till we'll come your way again next time, it is God bless and bye for now.